Hey everybody, Mark Herman, aka LA Bengals fan on most of the major platforms. I'm joined here by my partner in crime, Sam Schneider, and this is the week 2 recap of Jungle Talk. And as you can tell, I don't have the victory horn in my hand. I don't have the quacker. There it is over there somewhere. I don't have anything. And you'll notice I'm wearing a Billy Price jersey. There's a reason for that because I feel like I'm watching 5 Billy Prices on our offensive line. So it just seemed fitting to wear a loser offensive lineman's jersey for today's game. So tough one. Like I said, it's we have faced Mitchell Trubisky and Cooper Rush, and we're 0-2. I just, that kind of just sums it up, right? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah. And you know who looked more like traditional Cooper Rush and Mitchell Trubisky?
who?
Joe Burrow.
Yeah. So you know, like I said, it's a tough one. We're gonna go through it. I could go through the horrible situational football from the very beginning. The very first drive of this game, the Cowboys go for it on a 4th and 2 from the midfield. Get off the field. Right there.
Right.
Turn the ball over, get your first possession on their side of the field, and we give up. I mean, we made Cooper Rush look like Johnny Unitas. I mean,
Right.
he was hitting CeeDee Lamb in the first half, no problem. He's hitting Brown. We had bad apple all game, but he was getting
We did have bad
bad
apple
apple
all
all
game.
game. Was good apple? No, not good apple. It was bad apple all game. He played to not make a mistake. Committed penalties. He had a penalty on a 3rd down in the second half that kept, or in the first half that kept the drive going. Just looking, blew a 3rd and 9 on the second drive, blew a 3rd and 4 on the third drive. I mean, situational football. We talk about it all the time. Get off the field. Get
Right.
off the field. We didn't do it. We didn't do it. So
Yeah. I kind of want to go back to the preview and the recap from last week and take back a lot of the good things that I said about our defense.
yeah, well, especially the
Um,
secondary today.
yeah.
I mean,
And credit to the Cowboys on those first two drives, they already had it planned out. They knew exactly what plays they were going to call, probably in order the whole time. And boom, we were on our heels from the jump.
yeah,
We were on our heels the first drive, and I was like, oh, it's the first drive. They came out with a good game plan. I get it. Well, maybe they didn't expect that drive to go so quickly because they had plenty of plays left over for the second drive where we were completely on our heels. The secondary, whom I praised in our preview, Bates blew that touchdown, the first touchdown. Von Bell, who did have a really good play late in the game.
second half he played better. Bell
In
and Hilton
his
played better.
in his first half, though, he was doing the traditional Bengal thing of anytime somebody was wrapped up, he's just standing there trying to yank the ball out instead of just making a tackle and getting a guy down.
Right.
Did we play linebackers today? I don't even know if there were linebackers out
Oh,
there,
the
because
tackling was atrocious.
I sure as hell did not see any. I did not see any linebackers on the field.
No, the tackling
Um,
was atrocious. It was our D line was non-existent. We got no pressure on Cooper Kupp or Cooper Rush until the second half.
and even then, it was mostly just Hubbard.
Yeah, a couple plays by Hendrickson, but
Hmm.
but Reader had a couple plays. I mean, the defensive line played a little better in the second half, but we're playing from behind. Can we put together a first half? Can we go into the locker room like, not down double digits every week?
Yeah, and that was another thing that I was thinking about too, is that this has been kind of a little bit of an epidemic under Zach Taylor, because even last year when we made it all the way to the Super Bowl, it was like every game we went into halftime losing,
And losing big, not
and
just by being behind
right.
double digits.
Right. And then having to come all the way back and everything. And, using Joe Burrow's killer instinct. Joe Burrow I know he's getting hit back there, and there's another 6 sacks today. Um, he's still holding on to the ball too long, even when he's not hit right away.
Right.
And I don't know if you noticed this, but every time they showed him coming off the field, he did not have that Joe Burrow look on his
No.
face.
Well,
He looked like a deer caught in headlights. Completely. And I understand he was probably very frustrated by the fact that he didn't have time back there. But it's a little disheartening when you see that he doesn't have kind of that look like this is
right.
fine. This is fine.
Right.
Everything's going to be fine. So when he starts to look concerned, that's when I start to feel concerned.
Right. Well, yeah, no. And I want to point something out. The first 5 sacks were not on a blitz.
Right.
Gave up sacks when they weren't even sending pressure.
Right.
So, I mean, Collins could that whole thing about no one's touching you now. Yeah, you know what? That's not holding up well. I mean, Collins played terrible. Jonah Williams played terrible. I mean, the whole offensive line. That's why I'm wearing a loser Billy Price jersey.
Right.
There's a simple reason why
Right.
I save these crap ass jerseys is because there's moments like this where it's fitting to come out here in a loser offensive lineman jersey.
Yeah, I'm going to say something that you're probably going to take umbrage with, and that is after last week when they moved T.J. Watt around the line, and several times he lined up on the outside and was completely untouched to the quarterback, unabated to the quarterback. Today they moved Parsons around, and twice they put him against our right side of the line, not even against him, but set off of it, and he went unabated to the quarterback. So here's the part that you're not going to like. What in the fuck is Frank Pollock doing in practice? What are they doing in practice? After TJ Watt just did that to you, and you're about to face the reigning rookie defensive player of the year who had 2 sacks in week 1. What are you doing in practice? How are you not addressing a guy standing there all by himself, who's the best defensive player on the team, and Leal Collins doesn't even take one look at him because he's got a guy right in front of him?
So we had mismatches on the line all day. We were asked Drew Sample to block a defensive end by himself.
Oh, and he got run over.
And
he got positively run over. This is prior to the injury, of course, but yeah, like he sort of locked up with the guy and then just got bulldozed all the way back until the guy could just reach over and grab Burrow.
And when I watched the play, I said, what plan is it where Sample has to take on a defensive lineman by himself?
Right.
What plan is that?
Right.
So, and then we can fast forward into the second half, the last drive of the game. We get the ball back. I know we're at the 7-yard line, but we didn't even do anything to try to get the first down. I mean, they were 3 underneath plays, and I understand the run to get to the 2-minute warning, and then, but we never even got a first down.
Right. This is NFL 101.
Yeah.
In that situation, when it's 3rd and whatever it was in that situation that you're talking about, that series, if you can call it a series, that 3 and out, on that 3rd down, that late in the game, you got to go to the sticks. You can't throw it 7 yards and just assume the guy's going to make it for a first down.
No,
you can't do that.
No. And then we had bad clock management all day long. Our 2-minute offense before half was horrible. I'm looking to go, okay, let's go in 14-6, right?
Sure.
And then we'll score coming out of the second, and do the double dip. And instead, we don't even take enough time off, and we give up the field goal. Right. So the whole point of deferring and all that, it's out the door. I mean, it was you just sat there this whole time. And I questioned play calling. I questioned effort. I mean, I don't think this team went out there with any sort of, or they kind of felt like they were just going to show up and win this game.
Yeah, it was like week 1. They thought they were just going to waltz in there and take this one home. Oh. And to be fair, so did I. I thought we were just going to waltz in there and take this one.
Watch our preview, and I said, I said I thought we would come out with urgency. We would come out and correct the ship. No, we didn't do anything. We came
Yeah,
out of the tunnel the same way we came out of the tunnel last week, looking
yeah.
like we left it in the locker room.
There was
Never got off the bus.
no energy whatsoever. And you know what one of the really telling things to me was, I'm watching all these 1 p.m. games, or 10 a.m. in your case, games, the early set. And a lot of really weird stuff happened. There were several teams that made these just insane comebacks and stuff like that. And I'm really annoyed that we weren't one of those teams that made one of those insane comebacks.
Oh, we had
I mean, we came close, but we didn't seal the deal. But the other thing is, when I saw all these wonky things happening during the early games, I started to get a little like, ooh,
the entire North lost. So, but we were in the afternoon. We had a chance to be the lone winner.
right.
I mean, Baltimore blew their game.
Yeah,
Pittsburgh blew their game. Cleveland lost to the Jets, which
right.
is like the only positive thing I think of. We get the Jets coming off a win. Remember, I always rather have team off a
Right. And
win than a loss.
the Jets were down 13 with a minute and a half to
Yeah,
go.
and they won the game. So the other three teams in our division had major brain farts, and all we
Right.
had to do was go out there and take care of business and harass Cooper Rush, and we couldn't do it. Couldn't do
Right.
it. Couldn't do it. Coaching
Right.
staff couldn't come up with a game plan. I like I said, we faced Trubisky and Cooper Rush, and we're 0-2.
Right.
Things could not be any worse. I mean, it's just terrible.
Right.
So, are we going to beat the Jets next week? Heck, I don't know. I don't know what team's coming out of the tunnel.
Yeah. Old buddy Joe Flacco.
I have no idea who's coming out of tunnel. We finally forced our first turnover. It took us 6.5 quarters. We finally get a turnover. We come out there 3 and out. We
Right.
didn't get a first down and flip the field. We just 3 and out, and all we did was stop their drive. The defense gave us a chance in the second half, but this team just didn't make plays.
It's really frustrating that, when you've got a team with this many weapons and, offensive line is the offensive line. And I know that that's, the most tremendous problem. But, when you have this many weapons, there's no excuse for scoring your lone touchdown with 3.5 minutes to go in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, that is just disgusting.
And we can't even talk about red zone trips because when we got 9 points, we didn't break the 20.
No.
Those field goals, I mean, they were not in the red zone on any of those drives.
Thank God Adamitis can snap.
Yeah, well, we do have a long snapper. So the special teams, but this is where missing extra point and field goals last week and just sleepwalking through this one, just I don't know, like I said, and I blame the coaches for this,
right?
Because they've got to get the players motivated, and these players, they're not playing. And Collins, it's like I said, our offensive line's not playing, our defensive line, our secondary. I mean, I'm just shaking my head. I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, I'm afraid, and I'll go back to my earlier point. I'm afraid that because we've got some veterans that have been around the block a couple times, because we have a team that went to the Super Bowl last year, that the coaches are being too easy on this team in practice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know that for sure, but I suspect that, they're probably calling it a little early. Maybe they're not making them do some drills that you would normally make a younger team do. But I hope they get out there on the practice field and get their butts busted this week.
Yeah.
Because there was just no effort. There was no effort.
No.
The person that gave the most effort was T. Higgins, and he barely practiced.
Right. Yeah. Go win it for T's dad, man.
Right.
I mean, come on. You guys can't find any motivation to circle the wagon. And like I said, I haven't seen it yet, but I know Chris Sims, just as we were starting to film, was doing a whole expose on this line being worse than last year's line.
Right.
And I'm like, I wouldn't.
At this moment, I'm not sure I disagree.
I mean, we've gotten what, six sacks in each game.
Yeah, 7 last week.
7, so 13 sacks in 2 weeks. I mean, do the
Yep.
math. He's going to get
Right.
sacked more this year than last.
Right.
And I'm not saying break out identity and let's get Alex Redmond back on the team. And I'm not
Right.
any of that. But I'm like, we address this. Where's Collins? Where's Kappa? Where's Karros? Jonah Williams? I mean, somebody block.
Yeah.
Somebody, and let's scheme where we don't ask Drew Sample to, well, we're not going to be asking Drew Sample to do a lot for weeks. He might be done for the year. I don't know how bad that ankle is, but
I don't either.
I mean, it looked bad, but no, this is just completely disappointing. At no point did I think that this is where we would be after week 2. But here we
No,
are,
I'm
0-2.
I'm dumbfounded.
The only positive thing I can say is we're only one game out of first place in our division. That's the only
Right.
thing I could say.
Yeah, and the thought keeps crossing my mind. Well, we made the playoffs last year at 10-7. So it's not like we were setting the world on fire during the season. But through 2 games, I'm not sure we can get to 10-7.
Yeah, I don't know that I just said to you, I bet the over 10 wins on the year, and I don't know we get to 10 wins. I'm
Right.
sitting there looking, going, all right, we got to start, winning some bets so I can, pay these futures off at the end of the year.
And to make it crystal clear for anybody watching, I mean, I'm not, giving up on this team.
Oh,
It's just that after a loss, these are the kinds of things that are going through a fan's head. You know what I mean? You can't help but wonder, well, when are you going to right the ship? If you couldn't do it this week, when are you going to right the ship? You know what I mean?
yeah, no. The Cowboys their fan base now is energized. Hey, maybe Cooper Rush can go 3-3.
Right.
Well, 3-2, or whatever in the
Right.
5 games they're asking out of him. We certainly, and once
He's
again,
2-0 as a starter now with 2 fourth quarter comebacks.
and I'm not a Mike McCarthy fan. Okay. I have friends that are Packers fans. I've bet the Packers a lot. I've watched him. He was never a coach I really had any confidence in.
I dislike Coach McCarthy.
Okay. He outcoached Zach today.
He sure did.
So 2 weeks in a row, Zach's been completely outcoached by the opposing team. With inferior personnel, we have lost both games.
Yep.
And a lot of that has to do with game plan and play calling and team prep. That's all coaching.
Right.
All of it. I'll take last week's loss and say, hey, we almost righted the ship and it was the long snapper. But this week you didn't have the long snapper excuse. This is all play calling, preparation, scheme.
Yeah.
And execution. And execution.
Effort.
Yeah, an effort. And that's coaching.
Right.
Make your plays. We have the personnel. I mean, think about it. We didn't even have a completion to a wide receiver other than Chase, and it was only for like 45 yards in the first half. We didn't even have one. So like I said, something's wrong, guys.
Right.
So I don't know. Like I said, I'm at a loss. But we throw these up. We don't shy away. We don't, hide from and we're very critical. We're looking inward. We're not sitting here bashing the cow. We didn't have, once again, you didn't have an answer for Watt last week. You didn't have an answer for Parsons this week.
Right.
So what player are we not going to have an answer for next week, guys? I mean, come on. You have to start coaching.
Right.
So, you have anything else? I mean, that's
not really
my bitch session. I mean, I could sit there and like I said, the only positive I can draw out of today, number one, they at least came out and made a game of it, and we lost in the closing seconds. But
right.
and that the whole division lost. But this was setting up for everybody being tied to 1-1, and we go to play the Jets next week. I think we have the Jets next week. I don't know.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, so we go play the Jets next week, and now all of a sudden we could be tied for first again in the division. But just shaking my head, like I said, as a fan.
Well, and I mean, we got to get it right. We got to get it right by the Jets game, because then we turn right around and come back out on Thursday.
Yeah.
So it's not like all of a sudden, if that one doesn't go right, we've got plenty of time before the next one. We don't. So we got to get some things right in the Jets game before we turn right around and come back home and play on Thursday Night Football.
Right. Against, isn't it the Dolphins?
It is the Dolphins.
Yes. Who had quite a second half today.
Right.
So, can we cover Tyreek Hill? Heck, all they have was CeeDee Lamb, and we couldn't stop them.
Right.
So now you're going up against a team that has Waddle and Gesicki and Tyreek Hill, and Tua looks like he's playing with some confidence now. Yeah, just like I said, how many times shaking my head? I don't.
I didn't. Well, in the first probably quarter, they kept throwing it to Noah Brown, and I'm like, who the hell is Noah Brown?
Yeah, I'll tell you who Noah Brown is. He's the guy Eli Apple was covering. That's who
Right.
Noah Brown is.
There you
That's how I was
go.
like, bad apple, bad. And Eli Apple's just making the tackle. He's letting the
Right.
guy catch the ball, making the tackle, or he's committing a penalty. He's not trying to make a football play. We're back to the bad apple.
Right.
So I need good apple. We need good apple.
Right.
So we'll see what happens. And we got plenty of help from the Cowboys. I mean, we had roughing the passer penalties, personal foul penalties. Had the offsides on the fourth down that got us the one of the led to a field goal. I mean, we got help.
Yeah, they did everything they could for us.
And we had this 18 or 19 play drive. It was a ridiculously long drive. Took up like 8.5 minutes off the clock or whatever. Yeah. And I was thinking then when we got the ball back, we've had the defense out there so long, they've got to be gassed. And no, we didn't even get. We did. If we get a first down, we're in overtime.
Right.
And instead, we didn't even get a first down.
Mm-hmm.
It was underneath, like punt. They get the ball with 50. And they got their kicker has a good leg.
Yeah.
He's made 3 field goals this year. The 50, the one he made to win the game at 50 was the shortest field goal he's made this year.
Right.
At a 50, 51, 54, I think is what they went through. But it's like, guys, I just shaking my head.
Yep.
So, all right, well, we will be back with our preview of the Jet game on Thursday. Lick our wounds and, hopefully a switch flips in this team's head, the coaches' heads, the whole team. Hopefully they're embarrassed enough. They had a chance today to come out on national TV. They were the national game in the afternoon, opposite the Ram game that was broadcast here locally, but they were the national game on CBS. They had a chance, and the whole country watched them crap the bed.
Yep.
Oh well. So that's a tough one. You have anything you want to plug or
no?
Right.
I'm gonna take a day to think about this, lick my wounds, and then try to get positive for the next one.
Yeah, I will. All right. Well, we will be back on Thursday. If you don't subscribe, please subscribe. It's all we ask. Please hit
comment down below. Let us know what you're thinking about this game, and hit that little bell for us.
Yes, and then then please hit the thumbs up because that helps us in the AI. So we really, really appreciate it. So with that, I'm going to say hoot, everybody.
Hoot day, baby.
All right. Catch you on Thursday.